So we're kind of banging in the middle of the ring, and all I remember was I took a kick to the face. I took a switch kick, and I remember seeing it come at me, and I just remember it tapping me on the face like that, and I just remember kind of falling over. When I was in college, my average work hours, like I had to be up by 3:30 in the morning. You know, you're not leaving until 8:30 that night, right? So you're grinding, your energy, you're all these things. That's day in, day out, 90-hour weeks, 100-hour weeks. You may be sleeping in the weight room, and you're just trying to make it, right? Just to gain experience and gain networking. So you don't see that nowadays. You get kids who, some of my martial arts teachers and my fight trainers were just kind of douchebags, but I love them to death for it because they push me to be the best version I could be.
That's what I found. Like in the moment, you might hate their guts, but then in retrospect, you're like, dude, they were just trying to make me
better, man. Yeah,
it's basically tough love, right?
Tough love, man. That's really all it was, and so I thank them every day for that.
You got to pay your dues.
You got to pay your dues.
If it comes too easy, it's not going to stay very long. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the N2N podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. N2N, also known as the Ninja or Prolific Ninja by my family and friends. And because my fans and my friends, you can call me Ninja too. This is the N2N podcast, the alpha to the omega, the beginning, the end, talking about life, motivation, drive, success, self-improvement, and offering you morsels in this all-you-can-eat buffet called life. We are back in the studio. It is going to be an amazing show for you. Got a big surprise for you, but for now, if you're new to the show or if you've been listening for a while, you know that I start my show as I start my day. So when I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is thank God and the universe for another day, another opportunity to hopefully inspire just one person to live to their fullest controllable potential. And like that, I want to thank you all the supporters and listeners for liking, following, subscribing, and sharing the content and the show. I do this on my own dime, all my own time. My law firm sponsors the show, so to speak, but it's still my own money. So the only way we grow the show is with you. And, we do this on a karmic exchange, which means that if you learn something from this show, and I know you will because it's a special show, or any of the other episodes, please do share the show, or else you're going to owe me a karmic debt, and I don't want that shit. I need you to share the show to restore that balance. So I like to say, if your knowledge swole, share the show. That is how we grow. And so we have various forms of content. So mainly it's just me giving 10, 15, 20 minutes on a principle about success or life or self-improvement. Sometimes we have prolific point of view, POV, or Q&A with my co-host, Arib, who's the producer of the show, actually. And then sometimes, which more and more we need to get, we have guests on the show. And so today's episode is a very special show because we have in our presence Chris Slocum. Now, this dude right here, Chris, welcome to the show, brother. Good to see you.
Thanks, brother. Man,
all right, man. For sure.
You're a legend, man.
So I've met Chris several years ago. We work out at the same gym. And this dude slings weight like freaking cotton balls, bro. Like this guy, he's the certified strength and conditioning coach, lead trainer at a facility in town called Athlete Training and Health. He's a pro. Well, let me just back up. He's a collegiate two-time national champ in football, playing cornerback. Also ran track in college, 100, 200-meter sprint. Former pro jiu-jitsu, MMA, national-level athlete, and now he is a trainer to the stars. So he trains. He trains several of the pro athletes you may be familiar with in all types of sports, and he trains all the way down to high school level. So he's all about giving back, making people better. And so today it's a very special opportunity for me. We've been trying to make this happen for a while, to bring someone of his status and stature onto the show, just so he can share, about his life and, things that make for a great athlete translated into a great person in life for success. But before we start that, I want to introduce 1925 Tequila. If you've been following my socials, you know that I'm an investor now in this tequila. It is by far the cleanest tequila, the best tequila you'll ever have. It just took one sip for me to get convinced to be a part of what they're doing. And it is probably the fastest growing tequila brand in the country at this moment. So check out 1925 Tequila. It's the third generation Don Julio family. And I brought this kind of knowing but not knowing that Sloke also has a mobile bar that he launched around town called Sloke's Bar. So with that, because you just came off of a duck hunt. We're pouring into these special glasses. You see this this bullet right here? There we go. So as I'm making this pour, brother, why don't you tell the audience sort of how you grew up, where you grew up, your backstory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So originally from the great state of Ohio. I feel like a lot of people hate on Ohio now. They say there's nothing up there, but except for LeBron James. But
LeBron James,
man.
Here you go, brother.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, for sure. And this is an añejo, by the way.
Oh, sounds great. I can't wait to taste it.
There we go.
Cheers,
man. Salud. Yes, to the holiday season.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
One sip. Mm-hmm. That's all it takes.
All it took, bro. Ohio, great state
of
Ohio.
Man. Okay. Yeah, great state of Ohio, from the Cleveland, Ohio, to be exact.
Okay.
Grew up there my whole life. Unfortunately, I'm a Browns fan, but hey, you gotta stay true to your roots. So, I went to school at the University of Mount Union, which is a smaller school in Ohio called in Alliance, Ohio. Okay. Actually close to the Football Hall of Fame, but legendary in football. Played with a couple great football players like Pierre Garçon and Cecil Shorts. Nice. So even for them to make it out in of a Division III level is really big. So, but grew up there, man. Got an opportunity to move down to Texas once I kind of figured out what I wanted to do and become a strength and conditioning coach. First job was out at U of H. Fought professionally while I was working. Did a lot of jiu-jitsu and judo and MMA.
Yeah.
Had a great time. Traveled the world.
Yeah.
Been to all over the world just fighting. So it's been a good ride, man. And then find myself back in Houston, settling down with a family of my own and running the gym in Katy.
There's a lot in there, bro. There's a lot to unpack. All that. Okay, so let's go to. Were you always a good athlete out of the gate, or was getting into sports something your dad pushed you into, brothers, siblings? Like, what was the athletic push for you?
So I grew up with two older sisters who I love them to death, but they are not athletic at all. My parents both were not non-athletes. But I just always loved to work out and just compete a little bit. But what actually got me into sports was martial arts. So when I was younger, I just kind of was like a little mama's boy. Just used to get picked on a little bit, and just like a true classic kung fu story. You don't want to get picked on no more, so you vow revenge. So started doing kung fu, and
really
that,
like official kung fu,
Northern Shaolin.
Yeah,
kung
no
fu.
shit. Okay, that's, usually it's like taekwondo or judo out the gate, but this is real.
Yeah, some
not the other ones are not martial arts, but this is like traditional kung fu, Bruce Lee style.
Yeah, Bruce Lee, man. They used to call me Bruce Leroy, So, but yeah, man.
Hey, you still are, bro. Come on now.
I know. So, but yeah, man, that's actually what got me into it. I just always wanted to be like Bruce Lee, to be honest with you. And then from there, I kind of wrestled and started playing football.
So this is in middle school?
Yeah, I probably started martial arts when I was 13 years old.
Okay, so 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah, so I was young, and then I literally been doing it since then. Evolving from kung fu to judo, jiu-jitsu, more of the combative sports, but always kept my traditional martial arts roots. Yeah,
that's pretty dope. And so that, having done taekwondo, we started in taekwondo, so I got my black belt very, very young, like 12, 13 years old. But do you think for kids these days, is martial arts a good base for becoming an athlete or fostering athletic talent?
Oh, yeah, man. And we can go in on athletics all day.
Yeah, let's go. I love it. Let's go, bro. Yeah,
obviously. But, yeah, man, I feel like it's really important to expose your kids to a lot of things. Like, I think people get really caught up on football or soccer, and they just like, oh, do football, this. But at the end of the day, man, you got to have your kids just explore, learn their body, fall down, get scrapes, get bumped, get bruised. And then they can truly know what they really love to do, and then also become a better all-around athlete. But with martial arts, it's great because it teaches you, especially when it comes to fighting, it teaches you how to win alone, train alone, lose alone, and just deal with kind of the aches and pains that comes with that combative sport. Yeah. The last thing too is just with traditional martial arts, it teaches you about respect, honor, and not just yourself, family, other people. So it was a great lesson for me that I've taken to the core of my life. Yeah, so a lot to unpack there, man. Because as a fellow martial artist, I find that the discipline part, and it for me at least, it taught me that learning the martial art means you have a special power. Therefore, you can't just throw it out there. You have to have that discipline to,
not be the first one to hit. You got it because
right.
you have an unfair advantage, so to speak.
Right, exactly.
All right, but at the same time, you hit on a very important note, which is the winning and losing and the aches and pains alone.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it forces you into your own thoughts.
Yeah, I feel like too, like, when playing football in college or in high school, if somebody messed up on a play, you can easily point fingers, right? But if you're in the cage or you're on the mat doing whatever and you lose, it's not really anybody's fault but your own, right? You can't really point the fingers because you're the one that maybe didn't train hard enough or made the mistake or whatever. So I feel like that's a really important, right? Like, I feel like nowadays some people, I think it's important to rely on people. It's important to be around a team, but you also got to live your life alone at some point, right? And so being able to, kind of fail and raise back up is something big,
Yeah, holding full accountability to yourself, self-accountability, which is very lost on these days, especially with social media and all that.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah. So I would definitely suggest, man, martial arts is a way to go.
Well, that's amazing, man. So middle school, martial arts. I guess the major question is you went into martial arts because you were getting picked on.
Yeah, I'm just getting get a little bullied. I was a little.
Obviously you weren't swole like.
No, I wasn't swole. I was a little pimp. I was a little pimp squeak for a while,
Okay.
Man, I had a big old SpongeBob gap in my teeth, and just as a mama's boy, I love my mama to death, but I was such a mama's boy, so I was just soft, man, and then it was just easy for me to get picked on, and so I just remember one day I got picked on too much, and I was like, nah, I can't do it.
Did it ever get to throwing?
Oh yeah, got to the exactly. Got
wedgied, I guess.
Yeah, got a little banged up. And I just couldn't. I was like, why am I like this? And it just like kind of clicked in me. Like, I need to do something and not be a mama's boy. And like I told you, I was raised around older sisters. So not saying that they made me soft. I love my sisters. They're strong women.
But it's female energy.
Yeah, but I'm also
energy, right?
I also feel like as a man, I'm very emotional, right? I am an emotional man, which I'm okay with. I'm always down to share my emotions, but back then I wasn't a man, I didn't have an outlet. I was just,
What part of Cleveland again? I don't know Cleveland that well.
Yeah, it was Cleveland Heights. Yeah, just in the Heights area.
So is it rough?
It was, it wasn't rough, but yeah, Cleveland's not the safest city ever.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the roughest part of the city.
So after the martial arts, did the picking on go down? Like, did you ever have to
I
square up with somebody?
I feel like, man, like I've had in a couple altercations, non like me provoking it, right?
You didn't instigate it,
yeah, just more, defending myself or others. And you get this quiet confidence about yourself. So like, even now, like I don't ever go to the club, by the way, but when I used to go out or go to the bars a ton, if someone would step on my shoes, I'm the one that's like, oh man, my bad, man. Like I'm not, Because like
that's because at the end of
the day, and then I feel like too, like being able to control your emotions is really key, right? Like if you're a hothead like that, it's not what you want to be.
Okay, so hold that thought because we're going to translate this later. So, but you get into athletics. High school, obviously excelled in football, I guess. What was there a push into these sports? There was just the only sports available.
I was always fast, so I loved track, and I was always physical, so I loved football. But it's funny. I started football late because I was so into martial arts. When
did you get your black belt?
I got my black belt in Kung Fu, man, when I was probably like 16, 17. And then that's kind of, to be honest with you, I probably started football my junior year of high school. I didn't really play all 4 years. But I ran track all 4 years. I wrestled all 4 years. But something about football, and it was more of that team environment because track's pretty individual, martial arts and fighting
especially
as
well. The sprints,
Yeah, and then even wrestling's kind of like that. And then something about football was just fun. Again, it kind of put a lot of abilities I was able to do together. Yeah. And then I got to play in college, which I never thought would happen.
Yeah. How was that recruiting process? Like you played cornerback.
Corner and safety, yeah.
Safety, okay.
Yeah, and Mount Union is like it's a top Division III school. I know a lot of people hate on the D3s.
Nah, D3 is D3, man.
Yeah, man. We had a great team, a great coach. His name was Larry Karras in the Hall of Fame. And he taught us how to be men as well. It was a lot of my principles I have from coaching come from him. He's very hard on us. Yeah. But also like he let us lead the team as well. Yeah. So it was a really good culture there. And you had to work hard. You had to show up. You were expected to win. And then when you lost, you were expected to pick back up and keep working. So,
like life, bro.
No, just like life, man. Yeah. So. But yeah, I just kind of fell into it. I just love sports and love to compete. And
were there ever coaches you hated because they were on you so hard?
I think like in the time there was, to be honest with you, like some of my martial arts teachers and my fight trainers were just kind of douchebags. But I love them to death for it because they push me to be the best version I could be.
See, that's what I found. The people, like, in the moment, you might hate their guts.
Yeah.
But then in retrospect, you're like, dude, they were just trying to make me
better, man. Yeah, and so it got me to see the world and fight around.
Yeah,
and, you know.
Yeah, so it's basically tough love, right?
Tough love, man. That's really all it was. And so I thank them every day for that.
Yeah. Okay, so you go to high school. You're playing in college now. You mentioned about your coaching, but it's sort of the lifestyle of an athlete in college, bro. Like, what's that about?
It was a lot of fun. Playing two sports was tough, but it was a lot of fun, man. Mount Union wasn't a big school, kind of like in central Ohio. So we weren't too far from like Ohio State or the University of Akron, which are bigger schools. Yeah, the Ohio State, excuse me. So, we'd be able to make trips to the bigger schools and stuff, but like the school was so dope because it was like a 70% athletic school.
Okay.
So we were all just kind of close-knit. And we
Fraternity
all were, from the soccer team to the women's volleyball team, they were all just a bunch of badasses. And it was cool to be a part of that environment of just winning, and that's what we were all expected to do was win.
Yeah. So you're still doing martial arts during this time?
Yeah, so in the summers, I would train. I'd go back to Cleveland, and I would just train. I would compete in the summers, which was really cool. It was great cross-training for me. I still did football stuff to get ready, but that was always my passion was, like, fighting.
So when did the idea of, hey, man, I might become a pro fighter click?
I don't know. I don't think it ever really did click.
It
just like evolved, because I started like with kung fu, doing like swords and nunchucks and like forms. And then I did this thing called Shuaijiao wrestling, which is it's just like a Chinese form of judo, pretty much, and it dates back to like Mongolia. So
what would be the difference? Like, what is that?
The difference is judo is going to be like on that Olympic level, right? Like very well known, and then Shuaijiao is going to be more. Just not as well known, to be honest with you. Yeah,
but in technique, is there difference?
Technique's very similar, but judo there's sacrifice throws, and then there's also ground fighting, so you can choke out and stuff. In Shuaijiao, you're just like throwing and not sacrifice, so you're not gonna like throw yourself.
What does sacrifice mean?
So like if you were to watch a judo fight, they will literally like jump in, roll on the other opponent, but in Shuaijiao, you want to be able to stand up and throw without like dropping to your knees or doing those things. So I started with that, then I wrestled, and then got into jiu-jitsu. Really got into judo, especially when I moved down here, and it just did kickboxing and Muay Thai.
So you're just all around fighter.
I'll definitely say I'm way more of a grappler, but I mean, I just love it, man.
Did you black belt in any other disciplines?
Yeah, I have a black belt in judo, black belt in Shuaijiao, and then you don't really rank up in Muay Thai or those things, but been fighting for a long time.
So did you train like Muay Thai in Thailand and all that?
So I've been overseas to train. I've been overseas to fight, so I've been to China to compete, Japan,
professionally, get paid.
Europe. So it's just,
damn, how did I not know this about you, man? I've known you for years, man.
Try to keep it low key, man.
Low key, all quiet in the gym, just slinging weights and clank, but
it's just, I ended up, long story short, I ended up tearing my ACL over in China in 2020, and that was just like a real tough time for me because that's, I was a little bit older. I was probably 30 at that time. Not that my career was kind of going down. It was just like I was getting older.
Yeah.
But still wanted to compete at a high level. I had a tough recovery, and then just after that, it just kind of fizzled out. I lost a couple of my sponsors and things like that, which is understandable. It was a two-year recovery, right? Like, fighting's way different than football, So
talk about that.
Yeah, it's like for fighters, we put a lot on the line, just like football players do. It's just not as much money in it, man. And, if you're at the UFC and you're at the top of the UFC, that's when you're making money. But even some of those guys who get paid, they're only making 10, 20, 30 grand for that fight, for training, for,
for the whole 6-week camp, and they're paying
you, not a ton.
4 or 5 coaches.
You're paying out your coaches, travel. So it's just, it's a little different, right? You do it. It's funny because even in D3, right? D3, there was no NIL, especially back when I was playing. There was no really scholarships. You did it because you just loved it, But I worked. It was a strength coach at Ohio State. Them boys had everything. You know what I'm saying? Even before the NIL.
Just giving it to them.
Yeah. And not saying they didn't deserve to earn it, but you kind of find some people at those levels, they can be a little entitled, and we just did it because we wanted to compete and we wanted to play and we loved it. Yeah. So it's just a different little mentality, I guess you would say.
Do you think the people? So D1 is the highest level in college, the highest, quote unquote. Where it's full athletic scholarships available. D2 is both athletic and academic. And then D3 is all academic.
All academic.
Only. So you can see where there's more money for the audience, where there's more money in D1 and big boosters and a lot of revenue opportunities. So So they get all the nice gyms and nice equipment.
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that
which
stuff.
is which is understandable. Ohio State has one of the best facilities, best coaches.
If you got national champions,
you have to have that.
At the D1 level.
Mm-hmm.
So crazy. So okay, so then what promotions were you with your martial arts?
So I fought for this company called Battle at the Bay, which is a company based out in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I fought for USA Swaijiao, USA Judo.
Yeah.
So jiu-jitsu was interesting. I've always loved jiu-jitsu. I love no-gi, but man, it was
what is no-gi?
Like, no-gi, not having the gi. Yeah, not having the gi on
upper
it.
uniform, whatever.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. And so it's funny, like transitioning from wrestling to jiu-jitsu was tough because on wrestling, freestyle wrestling, you don't want to be on your back, but in jiu-jitsu, you're just like, okay, come on. And so that was always
like memes like you want to go.
Yeah,
let's go.
yeah. So that was exactly. Yeah, so that was always really tough for me, tough transition. But I loved it because it challenged me a lot. But yeah, never really. I mean, I competed locally in jiu-jitsu, but never on a national or international level. But judo and Swaijiao were my.
So you had a fighting career of 5 years, you say? 5, 6 years?
I was a pro fighter when I was 23, and then
ACL,
and then ACL when I was like 30. So about 7
years.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty dope.
And I pretty much did amateur and just national stuff. Since I was like probably 17.
Was it ever a goal in your head to like, I got to get to the UFC? Was that like sort of what was the driver other than competing?
Man.
Like, was it just your whole life is just about competing, or is there like a goal?
I think my whole life, if I'm being honest with you, is just about making my last name proud, man. That's literally all it is. Like, it wasn't really about because I guess that's why I don't really talk about it. I never really posted about it. It wasn't really about the fights. It wasn't about the winning. It wasn't about anything. It was just like, I want to make my parents proud of me.
I can respect that, man. Because so you're close to your dad, or your dad's
really close to my pops, really close to my mom. I'm really close to all my family. For real.
So this is more out of a honor.
Honor, yeah, man. I think going back to this like the martial code.
Arts,
right? It's just like. It's funny because I always tell everybody, I just felt like I always wanted to be like a samurai. If I can like go back in time.
You're just born in the wrong era, bro.
Wrong era, man. I just hold that code of my last name. I just want to make them proud, man. And so that was just a way of me expressing something I was good at for them. So
that's dope. Okay, so then it wasn't really like I have to be Conor McGregor or some shit like that.
Let me just compete and train hard at my highest level and give it everything I have.
So have you ever like whooped some guy's ass so bad like oh my god, I can't believe I did this to the dude?
Yeah, I remember one time I fought this one guy, and I'm always again, I hope I'm very humble. I hope I come off as that, and I hope I can at least portray that. But the guy was just talking a bunch of junk, and I don't know what it was. He said,
like pre-fight or in the fight?
Pre-fight, just pre-fight. He said stuff about my family that was just like way out.
That's kind of like the unspoken code. Like you can jawbone me, but you can't leave the family out of it,
like,
right?
Why are you talking about my dad, or why are you talking about or even bringing race into it, or whatever it is? And so I just remember the one time I was fighting him. I acted very out of pocket, which is very I just remember in like kind of talking like me and you are talking right now. He was saying some stuff, and I was just like completely silent. But when it came to the pre-fight, right when we were lining up. Yeah. Oh man.
So the pre-fight is where you weigh in, but then you do the face-to-face, like the face-off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I just had so many things to say to him, and then we got to the cage. I'm usually like a very just walk down the cage and just but I just ran down, and I was just pacing back and forth. I was just like
cage beast.
And then. Anyways, I rear naked choke, and the ref's he's tapping, and I'm literally in his face like, you fucking bitch, you fucking bitch. Very out of pocket for me, but just the fact that he thought he was gonna get, to be honest with you, he did get under my skin, but the thought he was gonna get away for saying some of the stuff he was saying was crazy.
Like just if you dare repeat it.
So I'm like, it was just.
So now in retrospect, is it a regrettable moment, or it is kind of just what it was? You know what I'm saying?
At the time, at that time I meant it. Now if I can look back on it and I see a video of it, I can be embarrassed because that's not who I want to represent, and that's not what I want to represent.
Fair.
Right? But
that's good.
At that time,
you guys want to whoop his ass, bro. Yeah. And now. And so, where's this guy now? Like he,
I don't know.
You don't care. You don't care.
I have no idea. Yeah.
You whipped his ass.
Never saw him again. Yeah, never saw it or heard from him again. So.
And in that day, a win like that would have got you how much money?
Oh man, again, just fighting kind of very lower level MMA, it would have been maybe 1,500.
1,500, damn.
Yeah, man.
Dude, fighter's life is rough.
Life is rough, baby. But that's why, I had all these other avenues. I never just relied on sports, as I was always like trying to be a strength coach or trying to do other things.
Hustle for other different
just
times.
hustling, yeah, man.
Yeah.
So,
And then is there ever a time you got your ass whooped hard?
Yeah, man. All right, so this is always a story I tell. But I was winning this fight. It was a great fight. In the cage. I was winning this fight, feeling good. It was more of a stand-up fight, right?
Yeah.
And I felt really good. Second round.
So you got good hands. You got boxer's hands.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel like I'm definitely, if I was to spar with a boxer, they would whoop my ass. But if I can bring my other limbs into it, I'd be pretty good.
Okay.
So respect the boxers out there. They have a science that is insane. So respect to the boxers. But yeah, so we're kind of banging in the middle of the ring, and all I remember was I took a kick to the face. I took a switch kick, and I remember seeing it come at me, and I just remember it tapping me on the face like that, and I just remember kind of falling over. And I ended up breaking this bone on my face. I was like
full KO.
I was like in rigor mortis on the ground, kind of seizuring. It was
no shit.
bad.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was
wow.
bad. But it's funny though, because when I remember it, like how I remember it now, I don't really remember it like hitting me hard. I just remember like a tap and then just going down. But when you watch the film, it's like
wow. It's like in the slow motion, like
it's bad. It was really bad.
Wow.
Yeah. But that happened.
So but you felt it. You felt it coming in slow. Or you
I literally saw it
coming,
and then I don't know why I just didn't move. Again, when you watch the film,
like in shock, I guess.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, or your mind already like, I'm about to get hit. So
let me hit it. But then I just didn't block, and then it felt so slow when I can like see it right now. But
any pain at all? Like nothing when it hit.
Nothing
when it happened.
Nothing when it hit. I literally was out. I remember it took me a while to come back, but when I woke up, it was like this light just right in my face. I was like, shit.
What happened? Yeah.
And so when you get hit like that, knocked out like that, you get took to the hospital and
of course
stay overnight.
You cracked your orbital bone
was crushed. Brain was probably fried. So, but yeah, it was. And then I took a couple other losses, mostly for like technical TKO. So if I got like a bad cut.
Couldn't continue that kind of stuff.
I've lost 3 fights in my whole career. So
that was one.
Yeah, that was one. That was when I broke this one. I had a really bad cut on my head up here. It was just bleeding. They had to stop it. And then I had damage to this eye where I was just like really couldn't see. This kind of not eye gouge me, but
poke or something.
Yeah, kind of like a poke. It was just really tough to. And so
so that gets into a topic that athletes especially experience, but then also in real life, in business, when things go south or sour or failure or whatever, which is adversity.
Yeah.
Yes. So at this point in your career, you're like mid MMA career where you get this massive knockout. You get knocked out.
Yeah, I was probably like mid-career.
And so the recovery time, like what goes on in your mind? Obviously, like in the immediate near term, and then kind of sort of as you're rehabbing and rebuilding, what goes on? Like sort of
immediate, you're obviously very disappointed and very, I'd say for me just like ashamed. I feel like I let everybody down.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was just tough. It was a very tough time just to lose, It's embarrassing too, right? Like it's embarrassing because you tell everybody, oh, watch me on this, and then you just get your head blown off. You're like, hey, but, the rise after the fall is always the best. So, man, just like once you kind of feel sorry for yourself and you kind of, lick your wounds and you get back into it, you're like, okay, I learned, I can grow.
Like how many times did you watch yourself get knocked out? A lot.
Yeah, and then that's where kind of my trainers were always kind of a little bit of assholes. They would just be replaying it in the gym on my next fight camp. Like, this happened. So on the TV, they're just like replaying the clip.
Really? Just to get in your head like
that?
Head,
man. So, but again, I appreciated it for him. So
and then so at that time where people, were there anybody close to you? Like you always you hear the expression like you really know who your true friends are when bad things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in that instance, were there people you thought were your friends, like turning out like not?
No, man.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like they don't come around.
I definitely feel you. I definitely feel you, man. And I feel like I'm so blessed because I got some solids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I feel like you take it more on yourself. Like I would always be like, oh man, does my friends love me? Do my mom and my dad love me that I lost? But like I know they don't love me because I fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hopefully they love me because who I am.
Yeah.
So again, maybe I didn't learn that till later, but No, they always were around me, man. They're always there to be with me, be by my side, and lift me up. So yeah, I got some real ones up with
me. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And that's very, I don't want to say it's rare because everybody has people around them, but it's good to know you have people that love you for you, not what you do for them or what you have or things like that. So then, where did the mentality of like, I gotta pick myself up? Do you think that's a learned thing, or is that something that's just inside the fighter's mentality? You know what I'm saying? Like
that's
the
fair.
ability to get up after a failure, after a fall down.
I would say that comes like from early on with my mother and my father. They were always big on education. And I grew up very dyslexic, so I was just really school was like
club.
I know, there you go, man. School was just like a massive struggle, right?
Yeah.
So like, and being embarrassed, reading in front of people, like things like that. So my mom always kind of like stayed on my ass respectfully about like, nah, don't give up. And like those little lessons like that were big for me. My mom was is my biggest advocate. Same thing with my pops. But they were always there for me. And so just seeing them go through things, right? Like they were dealing with stuff and seeing how they handle things with grace, whether it be hard or whatever. I learned that a lot at a young age, is not to give up.
Yeah. Which is up. So then your bounce back fight, was that like did you go back right away, or did you get some lead-in fights to get your confidence back?
So actually
how do you keep your confidence in all this? You know what I'm saying? What? Like, I know I got my head blown off, but I'm gonna come back and whoop somebody's ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you?
I guess just in life, you can't base your life off of one mistake, even though it's hard.
It's in the rear view.
Yeah. Same thing with like, football players, like a cornerback, for example. You get burnt on one play, you can't just pout. You got to play that next play, right?
Yeah.
So, I learned that too in Mountain Union. It's just like, man, you can't get too down on yourself because you still got an opportunity to compete, and you're still playing at a high level and doing things at a high level. So just because you made one mistake doesn't mean it's all over for you. But yeah, it takes a little bit of that mental battle to get back, which I think is fine for everybody, right? Like it's failure's tough to deal with, especially when you put a lot of work and sacrifice into something.
Yeah, being an athlete, it was always next play, just like
next play.
You gotta move. You gotta move. Gotta go. Mm-hmm. So you bounced back. Obviously, you had a solid kind of second half of that fighting career. Didn't really set you back. And then after your knee, you're like, okay, I can't.
Yeah, I was gearing up for another fight. After that, it was a 2-year recovery. I was gearing up for another one, and then it ended up getting canceled, actually. So I was actually ready to go, and then it just got canceled, and I kind of just was like, maybe this is my time. So I ended up continuing training. I still train and do all those things like that, but I just don't compete like I used to, like I have before. Yeah. But who knows? Maybe even if it's not MMA, like if it's judo or jiu-jitsu tournaments, like I might roll? Yeah, I might compete a little bit again. It's been a while.
When does the senior league start?
I know, it's the Masters. Yeah, the Masters League.
Masters League.
But I'm definitely, my body is definitely feeling the aches and pains from my athletic career from football to fighting. So, even though I'm clanging and banging in the weight room, I still wake up like, kind of banged up.
Part of it, though, man. Everybody's, as I tell, on this podcast, if you listen, like, everybody's tired, bro.
Yeah.
And nobody cares.
Yeah.
Everybody's tired. Nobody cares. You just got to keep grinding. And so before we move on from MMA, like the training camps, the 6-week pre-fight training camps, like, some people go, some fighters I know, they isolate themselves. Some at the top level, they go to like the fucking mountains and train, like, How did you lock in on a fight? Like, what was removed? Were you married at the time? Kind of like sort of.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I was not married at the time. It was like kind of like that. Like I was very good at switching things on and off. So like, when
mentally.
Mentally. When I was out with my friends, I was present with them, but I wasn't drinking, wasn't doing nothing like that. It was more like, okay, I'm going to be out for an hour. I got to go back. Same thing with eating and, I'm very lucky. I grew up like very disciplined in that aspect because I knew what the reward would look like, right? Like even just being able to travel the world for free and seeing other cultures and experience that was just like, oh my God, it's so worth it to be able to compete at a high level. So yeah, it was. I would definitely still be with my people, but once the fight got closer, I would definitely kind of seclude myself because I also feel like in my nature, I'm not a violent person. I'm not like I'm a competitive person, but I'm also very carefree. I feel like I'm definitely a lover, not a fighter, to be honest with you. I'm a peaceful man. But for me to get into that mentality, I need to kind of be alone and kind of really get myself geared up for it because playing football's great, running track's great, wrestling's great, but when you're walking into a cage with someone who's also, competing,
coming to kill you.
Competing, sacrificing, doing a lot, trying to come kill you and
in
take
legal ways,
and take what you're trying to get, take your dreams. You have to have a different mentality going into that, and the adrenaline and the feeling before a fight is nothing that I can ever describe because it doesn't.
It's anxiety, fear, like
I feel like you're kind of like, I just remember like the day before the fights, after weigh-ins, you're just like, oh my God, do I want to compete? Do I want to compete? But then, man, fight day, I'm just like, oh, let's fucking go. Like, it's so intense.
Weight cut, all that stuff done.
Weight cut's done, you feel good, and it's just like, man, all this work I put in for 6 to 8 weeks, it's time to go. And it's just like, man, it's almost like jumping out of a plane, I would feel like. Yeah. I've never jumped out of a plane, but I'm guessing that's
But I don't think the audience understands, I do mitts and stuff, like how taxing it really is. Just the whole gloves up for 5 minutes or 3 minutes for 3 rounds, just... holding this position, right?
Yeah, for sure. And then you got to worry about other things. You're worrying about someone punching you, kicking you, grappling you, taking you down. So and then just taking the punches in general. Taking hits is not fun. The worst part of the fights were just after the fights, even if you won, you just had all these cuts in your mouth.
Yeah,
like,
you get swelled up, bruised up, your face all
get your
lopsided.
Yeah. Which you kind of like the little bumps and bruises.
Come on, man. If you're an athlete, you kind of
want to have
battle
scars.
scars.
Yeah, you
want
the
battle scars. Yeah. So I want to go back to earlier. You said you're really because of your upbringing with your sisters, and you're an emotional guy.
I'm very emotional, man. Yeah.
But you're involving in stuff that's very, very discipline. You have to have strong discipline, which is kind of opposites. They're counterintuitive. So how did you learn to manage your emotions? Because that applies in business. It applies in a lot of life.
Yeah, no, for sure. I guess I would say emotion in the way of being very passionate. Like if I meet you and you're a good person, like I just want to be able to just like let you know that I actually love you and I care about you and I want the best for you and I will do anything to help you, right? So a lot of my athletes that I see, and one reason I love my job is the relationships I'm able to develop with them. And so, let's just say someone gets cleared from an ACL injury that we've been working for 6 months, and they get cleared, I will for sure like just cry with them, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, I'm just passionate about it. I'm passionate about helping them. I'm passionate about good people. I'm passionate about, I want people to know that I care about them. Not saying I got to be blubbering and crying all the time, but I just get very invested. And I feel like too, like me being emotional helps me stay disciplined because of the fact I want to make people proud. I want people to respect me. I want people to, feel comfortable around me and things like that. So I feel like me being emotional and not me being like kind of this closed off, hard shell, badass strength coach kind of guy, right? That's not what I want. I want people to feel welcome and inviting. And so I don't know. That's kind of, I guess that's more.
So that's how you, but in the heat of battle, I guess I understand the passion around. So by the way, cheers to that, bro, because not a lot of people will admit.
Cheers, brother.
About that compassion and empathy for the people you work with and the givingness. But,
exactly.
But for you personally, in the heat of battle, I know if I'm in a brawl, there's no holds barred for me, because I can't control, like it just swells up. And I'm like,
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
So, but how do you maintain a technical discipline in a highly emotionally charged environment?
Yeah, I think it just fall back on your training, because like first day martial arts, I remember sparring and I'm getting my head just boom, 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 and I'm just like about to cry, right? Because I'm like, these dudes are whooping my ass and I can't do anything about it. And then you show up the next day, same thing happens. Show up the next day, same thing happens, and you just continue to get better and learn and just like learn how to kind of handle those situations, handle those tough situations. And the training molds you into like, okay, this is why I've trained. This is what I'm doing. I can still be very emotional about it and very passionate about how I'm feeling in the moment, but I have to stay disciplined and I have to rely on what my training was.
Yeah. So it's reps.
It's reps, man.
Basically, it's just reps.
Yeah. That's pretty much
that's life, dude.
That's
reps.
Life. Yeah.
In business, it's reps.
Yeah,
do that every day,
exactly.
every day. Come back. Yeah. Okay. Bet. So you transition out of professional fighting, which it sounds you had a great career. Obviously learn the world. And what was the importance of learning the world at a in your 20s? Obviously that's the party years of your life. And you're exploring the world.
Yeah,
like,
no,
how much
yeah,
better
man.
does it get?
It doesn't get any better, man. And I don't know. I shout out my dad to it because he's always been about like culture and, you know, getting to like learn other people, right? Like getting to know your neighbor, getting to know different things, trying different foods, things like that. And so, yeah, man, it's something about like, you know, coming from Ohio. Ohio is kind of a little bit closed off place, like very plain, very simple. Not like Houston. It's not as diverse, not things like that.
Cosmopolitan.
It's especially
blue collar town.
Blue collar
clock
town.
in, clock out, put in your time.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's not as diverse, right? So a lot of people just stay in Ohio. They don't see anything else. They don't learn anything else. And so I've always been very fascinated with Asian culture, just because, especially with my martial arts background and
Bruce
Leroy, baby. And so, yeah, man, it's just kind of, and I've been around a lot of people from different cultures, right? So if I go fight in China, I become friends with some of the fighters, or, you know, over in Europe, and I've got to just to learn cultures and dive into it. So, you know, it just makes you an all-around person and gets you to understand people better, right? Like if you don't know somebody, you don't have to be fearful of them.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just like, get to know who this person is, get to understand their culture.
Yeah.
And it's going to clear up a lot of things.
Yeah, I think I love that, man, because I think you get out of life through exposure. Like you get appreciation of life, and you get to live to the fullest by being exposed to different cultures.
Right.
Right. So then now, how did you get into training pro athletes and all the way down to high school?
Yeah, that's an interesting journey. Again, I grew up very dyslexic, wasn't sure if I was going to go to college, was like reading at a third grade level when I was like in 12th grade. So it was crazy. Like I was like, okay. But my mom stayed on my ass. She kept pushing me. And again, ended up getting to go to Mount Union. I literally saw in their catalog on what majors take, there was exercise, science. And I was like, okay, I really like the exercise. I really like science. Didn't know what that was. Or you would see like sports med kind of be thrown around.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, sports med, that sounds great. I love sports. And then I didn't really actually know there was a job as a strength coaches.
Huh.
And so I learned it through actually my professor, Dr. Ron Mendel, who was my main professor there. And he's kind of catapulted me into like, hey, this seems like a good career path that you can do with this. And he kind of helped me, you know, really kind of funnel my focus on that. And it kind of suits the best thing for me, right? I just love working with people and love helping people and affecting people and just building relationships. But I pretty much got into it like that, and I learned about the body, started training a little bit more myself, like dialing in like what I really want to do and what I wanted to see from kind of what I was learning.
Yeah.
And training some of my friends on a football team because we didn't have a strength coach or anything like that.
Yeah.
And
so this journey actually started in college.
In college, yeah.
It wasn't after MMA.
No,
I want
in
to
college,
be a strength coach.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so again, my mom was big on education.
Yeah.
She always made me work, and my dad. So I'd come home from college. I wasn't just sitting my ass and working out on this, working out for football. I was training. I was working at a car part store.
Yeah.
I was interning I was interning at a strength and conditioning place. I was going to school too. Like, so I was always always hardworking. But yeah, that she was just like, hey, fighting football is not going to be your end goal. Like, this is, we got to build for something more. And so it's paid dividends. So that's kind of the advice I would give to the young people too, right? It's like, it's good to find your passion early and then kind of dive into it, because then when you get out of college, then you can already have this background and this invested time in something that you can already start working. Too,
yeah,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
true. You get a head start.
Yeah, you just get a head start,
versus like
man.
starting over,
yeah,
right?
It's a freaking grind, man.
It's free.
I miss those days.
It's a free ride, bro.
Yeah,
it's a free roll.
Yeah, and I miss those days because it was fun, man. It was fun. It was a lot of work.
Responsibilities suck.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, but it was fun.
No, it's good. We accept responsibility on this podcast.
I know,
we do it.
Yeah.
So now you're working with, again, high school athletes trying to get to college athletics, college guys trying to go pro, and pro guys trying to get to whatever next level. So like, kind of, if you can, like, who are the athletes you're working with?
Yeah, man. I work a lot with, a lot of the Texans players. The cool thing about my job, and I guess it's a little different, is I kind of have a niche. I do performance training where, a guy comes in and want to get bigger, faster, stronger. Great. We'll do that. But my niche is return to play. So that's dealing with athletes coming off of some form of injury. And that's how I meet most of my athletes. So like one of the athletes I've trained for a long time is Alex Bregman. I train a lot of the
World Series pro baseball player.
Yeah, he's a legend, man. Like and I appreciate him a lot because he helped me out a ton and just gave me a platform to perform at, be able to work with him.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of trickled into working with a lot of the other Astros players, and I work a ton with the Texans. And shout out to Roland Ramirez, he's the head PT out there, so they trust us with their care as they, they're coming off of injury and things like that. And so And then also, too, just working with guys from around the league. So J.K. Dobbins is one of the guys who tore his Achilles. I'm sure you've seen him around in the gym, too.
Yeah.
But a dude that, is from LaGrange, played in California, comes back and does rehab with us and is now balling.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that's from me. That's from his own skill, but just giving the trust
Well,
in
the
him.
guidance and
Man, and he's just a legend. So, like, being able to work with those athletes is just such a blessing. And the best thing about it is it's not that they're pros. It's just that they're good dudes, good people, man.
Yeah.
Like JK, Alex, Brandon Hill, like Dalton. They're all just, like, solid dudes, and you just do anything for them.
And it's not male, it's females too.
Yeah, females too. I'm very, like, I work with a lot of the Dash. Like Jane Campbell is one of the women I work with. She's
Dash is the Houston females soccer pro.
Soccer pro team. Yeah, she's the starting goalie for them. Plays for the United States team. I worked with a lot of the Dash players coming off ACL injuries or things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's just like good people, man.
Yeah.
And hardworking, right? Like they got to where they were because they work hard, and they're good at what they do.
Yeah. So as you're rehabbing them, how much of it is physical, and then how much of it is you're talking in their ear, like kind of the psychological side?
No, that's good. I feel like it's definitely a lot of physical, but me as the person, like,
because you've been there.
I've been there. Yeah. And I've been injured. I've been out. You get things taken away from you. So the best thing that I can tell you is, like, through those injuries, I can gain empathy and perspective. Right? It's not just like me just like, okay, you'll be all right. Like, I actually know what it feels like to be, that getting taken away from you or whatever it is. Right? So yeah, it's definitely physical. It's a lot of, I would say I'm very demanding of them, but. It's for me, it's definitely about the relationship, and I feel like they wouldn't trust me if I couldn't build a relationship with them, and for them to talk to me about whatever they need to talk about. Because when you are dealing with those type of injuries, you are in your head a lot, right? So, I hope they also think that too, because for me, that's where my emotional side comes in. It's like, dang, I just
it's just a giver, bro.
You're a giver, I just care for these people, man. Like, genuinely, like, hope they know that I care. For them.
So in all of these professional athletes in your career, like, what common characteristics have you seen in these athletes that you think applies into the real world? Like, after athletics, and everybody has as Nate plays basketball, the ball stops bouncing at some point in time. What traits in these athletes are common that you think contributed to their success, but it applies beyond just sports?
I think consistency is big. I think like being willing to sacrifice, like understanding what that is, kind of like what we were talking about earlier with fighting, and when I was getting in a fight camp and understanding, like, hey, I may not be able to see my friends, but understanding, like, the ultimate goal of why.
So all these pro athletes understand that there's like something that
they got to give up to be able to continue to grow, right? So they understand it. But to be honest with you, man, like, you said it the best about your son, right? He's a good basketball player. He's gonna do great things. He's getting stronger, but he's a good dude, man. Like, I feel like that translates so much more. If you can, no matter how big you get, no matter how much money you make, if you can be a solid individual, you're going to be successful, because people are going to want to be around you. People are going to want to work with you. People are going to want to, deal with you. So I guess the thing I can say about not only the professional athletes I work with, but everybody I work with, I'm very lucky that they are just all amazing people.
So when you say solid, it's just like what, respectful,
just, like
authentic.
Authentic.
Good vibes.
Yeah, good vibes. Like, I mean, Alex, for example, I'm sure he makes a lot of money, right?
And ton of money.
He's very respected and well known, but he's a good dude, man. And I respect him a ton for that, because a lot of people would
get an overinflated ego,
over egos and things like that. So
don't talk to me. Don't.
Exactly. But even him, like, he would come to the gym and train and play catch with some of the little kids that would see him, right? Like, he didn't have to do that, but so at the end of the day, like, they work hard, they do all these things to get to where they are, but to me, it's that they are good people.
So talk as if you're talking to a parent of a high school athlete thinking their kid's going to be the next superstar. Like, like what advice would you give a parent?
I think, man, I think, like, so for example, I have some parents come in and their kid is like maybe like 12, 13 years old, right? And they're just super skinny. Haven't went through their growth spurt yet, haven't gone through any of that stuff. And so, it's almost like educational. You never want to demean anybody, but you just let them know, like, hey, at this time, they're like, hey, we need to put 20 pounds of muscle on my 13-year-old kid who has not gone through puberty yet. And so you kind of just educate them on like, hey, look, we're gonna see some great gains. This is kind of how we're gonna break down the training program so we can get to this. And it's called long-term athletic development. And so obviously you can't put a mass on a 12-year-old, 13-year-old boy who doesn't have any testosterone in his body, or his balls haven't dropped yet. Excuse my language, but you know what I'm saying?
No, it's facts, bro. It is what it is. Yeah,
you can't really, you got to kind of meet them where they're at, like understanding what the goal is, but also educating them. Because I mean, I'm not gonna say here, and I don't know what everybody. I would not know what to do as a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So I would just try to educate them in my professional opinion on, hey, these are going to be the steps they're going to take to get there, and it could take this amount of time, but if you stay consistent and show up, this is what we're going to do.
So realistic,
just realistic
expectations, because every parent thinks their kid is the next.
Yeah, exactly.
Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan,
exactly,
whatever, right? Or name your athlete.
Yeah, and I feel like too, we can use like with our testing system. So we look at jumps, we look at strength, power outputs, things like that. We can easily be like, well, your kid is actually below the level of this jumping thing. So it kind of takes the thing away because we actually have like these
measurements.
Measurements of normative data. So it's like, hey, just so you know, they're actually not above. They're way below the norm of your.
Yeah, so realistic expectations. How has social media affected athletics? Because you kind of, it feels like you're in the era pre kind of social media was coming through.
Yeah.
So like nowadays, and I think that contributes to the idea that everybody thinks their kid is the next Michael Jordan because of what they're seeing on social media, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I thought, man, it's just like this instant gratitude, like people, you post them shooting or whatever, and they're like, oh, this is so cool, you look good, but are you really good? Or are you just posting like this one highlight that you had in warm-ups, you know what I'm saying? Some kids I see, they post their warm-up video, like doing drills and warm-up, like, I can't wait to get back, and like, yo, you didn't even get in the game. But yeah, I just think it kind of paints this false sense of like, oh, I'm actually doing something, when is that really your real life? Yeah, it just changes a lot, man. And young kids nowadays, they love it, right? They eat it up because it is that instant gratification. It's a way to interact with other people and kind of show off a little bit. But yeah, it's just it's just like fighting, right? That dude who was talking shit to me, you got to prove it in the cage. You can't really just talk about it.
At some point, your performance has to speak for itself.
Yeah, exactly.
At some point. And so I found that there's a generational difference in work ethic, at least at the law firm, when we hire, in the companies that I'm involved with, where we hire kind of the Gen X versus the millennials versus the Gen Z, and on whatever the generations are, like there's a drop off in all the characteristics of what makes for a good worker.
Yeah. Like, do you notice that?
Oh yeah. Okay. Expand. Good. I'm glad it wasn't just me, man, in my industry. So like, talk about that. Is there a?
Yeah, man. It's tough, man. Like, we're definitely soft. Like, we're definitely a more softer society nowadays, and especially with the younger kids. You see it. It's like I said, it's the instant gratification. It's the sometimes, I guess, coddling of the parents. It's a bunch of things that they are going to deal with. So I guess it's hard to pinpoint one thing, but
you do see a drop off.
Oh yeah, I see it. Even in like from the athlete standpoint to like a worker standpoint. Like as a strength and conditioning coach, right? So when I was in college, my average work hours, like I had to be up by 3:30 in the morning, and working with a Division I football program at like U of H or LSU or whatever it is. You're not leaving until 8:30 that night, right? So you're there, you're grinding, your energy, you're all these things. That's day in, day out, 90-hour weeks, 100-hour weeks.
Not for crazy pay.
No, not for crazy pay. Even as an intern, where you're not making any money, you may be sleeping in the weight room, and you're just trying to make it, right? Just to gain experience and gain networking. So you don't see that nowadays. You get kids who don't even have a degree and are begging for more money because they just got out of college, and they feel like they can train whoever, or, again, talking about a strength and conditioning standpoint. But it's like, you haven't even really put your stripes in it yet. And I don't know, it just kind of, I guess I'm more old school on that because I had to put in a lot of work. And everybody gets there in certain different ways because everybody's going to handle situation different ways, right?
Of course.
But I learned so much through I don't want to say struggle, but through the grind of it all, where, it's just now it's so rewarding to see where I've came from. And some kids just want it like that.
Yeah.
When you don't really even deserve it.
Yeah. Well, you got to pay your dues.
You got to pay your dues.
Well, and I come from I come from a very energetic philosophy where like if it comes too easy, it's not going to stay very long.
No.
Right? Because you don't know how to handle keeping it.
Exactly.
Right? Like, because you hadn't paid your dues. So now, man, let's go to Slokes Bar. What's going on with Slokes Bar, bro?
Yeah, man. So, man, I don't know how this happened, to be honest with you. Long story short, it was like during COVID pretty much. My wife and I were just like, let's just have people over to the house and we'll just like start like bartending, like just have like almost like a speakeasy, because you weren't supposed to like kick it or nothing like that. I'm not a big drinker, but it was always fun. I just like being around people, hosting people at the crib.
Lively environment.
Yeah, just like cool, play like more like if you think of Slokes Bar, think of it as like a speakeasy, like dim light, kind of like jazzy, vibey music, kind of going on, like R&B, like that type of stuff. And so for my birthday, my wife had bought me a sign, a neon sign that said Slokes Bar, kind of like this one with blue, and it just kind of says the sign. And man, we just did it at the house. No, like nobody would pay, no nothing. We're just like, man, let's have people have Slokes Bar. And then last year we got invited to a graduation party from one of my friends, and we Slokes Bar. They paid us, and ever since then it just kind of we've been doing became a thing, and we've been doing it like once. I mean, it's not crazy, right? We do it like once or twice a month.
Yeah. But it's a business.
Yeah, we got some reoccurring clients. So it's cool, man. It's just fun. It's something different than strength and conditioning or any other thing that I do. It's just fun interacting with people, making drinks, being kind of at parties, but kind of being ducked off a little bit. Yeah. So, but it was dope. One of the parties that we actually got offered to do, me and one of my guys, his name's Lex. We went over to Ireland and did a birthday party for one of my former bosses for his 40th, for his wife's 40th.
Like he specifically sought you out, said,
"Yo,
flew
bro, us out there.
Yeah, you need a bar. You need to be Slokes Bar. That's dope.
Yeah, flew us out there.
How do I not know about this either, bro?
Man, it was epic. We did it at his house. It was literally epic. So like obviously two Black American guys are in this Ireland, Irish house, not even in Dublin, like out like middle of Ireland, and everybody's walking in like, oh my God, what's going on? And like first drink was served at 7:30 at night. Last drink was served at 8 in the morning, and it was
it's the Irish.
It's the
Irish, bro.
Yeah. I love my Irish brothers.
Yeah. And not to get into your business, but like something like that for somebody who might want to plan that. Like, what would that price range be?
Man, so to be honest with you, we'll send you a price range, but we'll work with you. You know what I'm saying? Like the biggest things is just like we can't provide the alcohol. It's illegal for us.
They have to buy.
So they have to buy the alcohol, and then we have a flat rate. So like it depends. Like I think it's like $100 an hour that we charge. And it's 3 bartenders. It's just, I mean, it's the drinks are great, but it's the atmosphere that hopefully that we can provide that makes it fun. You know what I'm saying? And we don't take over the party or nothing like that. We just try to fit the environment and just be cool, man.
Be the giving energy, that puts into the deal. So is this something you want to grow bigger? Like sort of
I don't know, man.
Mentality, dude.
Everybody always.
It's kind of a business podcast, you know?
Yeah. Everybody always asks me like, man, are you gonna do a brick and mortar one? And I think it would be so dope to have like a speakeasy that's kind of just small, like maybe 15 people that come in. You're only allowed a 2-hour limit. But I don't know. It's just fun, kind of just going over people's houses. You know,
make sure you carry 1925.
Of course, we'd carry that. That'd be the VIP special right there. But so we'll see though. We'll see. It's been fun being mobile and just kind of going throughout the houses and things like that.
Okay, so I don't disclose your age, but you
good.
The next decade of your life, do you see yourself still being a strength and conditioning coach? What do you call it? The rehab?
Yeah, like a return to play specialist.
Return to play specialist. Still, or moving into more entrepreneur? Man, kind of what's that vision look like?
Man, that's a great question. I don't know, man. I'm easy. Like, I just want to follow what I love to do, and I love to be around people. I love the network. I love to influence and help people. Man, I don't know, to be honest with you. I have an entrepreneurial spirit, but
you do.
Haven't really dived into it too much except for Slokes Bar. And then, man, I would love to train athletes or have some sort of effect on this career, like the strength and conditioning career, you know?
Yeah.
Whether that be in like coaching the coaches and things like that. But I do love training. I love that one-on-one and team environment. Like, I love that. It gets me up every day just to be fired up to work with people.
Yeah. So if you're talking to an athlete on the come up, like talk like into the camera, like what would you tell that athlete?
Oh, man.
To give them the best shot, him or her, at their goals and dreams, man.
I think it's important that tomorrow's not promised, and you gotta give it all today, because if you want to play at another level and you want to make it, are you actually doing what you're supposed to be doing, or are you just not? That's pretty simple. There's no blurred lines. Alex Bregman didn't get to where he is because he was eating ice cream sitting on the couch. He was working every day. And I know, like, even in fighting for me, I wasn't able to travel around the world because I was just sitting there. You know, I was working my ass off. And so I would just say, do it today, don't put it off tomorrow, and just be consistent.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Cheers to that, dude. You got to get your reps in.
Oh,
you got to get your reps in, bro. Yeah, cheers to that. I love that.
Cheers,
man. So, for people that want to follow you, how do they find you?
Oh, man. I actually took a break from social media.
Why?
I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I do have 2 Instagram handles, which I will share, because I'm going to get back on my strength and conditioning one.
Okay.
But on that, it's just, you know, it's kind of just being caught up with everything, man.
Yeah.
I just about being low key, man. Like, hey, if you know me, you know me.
Yeah. Okay.
But I am gonna start my Sloke strength account again. So you can actually follow Slokes Bar at Slokes Bar on Instagram.
So that's for if you're listening, it's SLOCS.
Yeah.
Bar.
It's Slokes Bar. And
Slokes
then,
Bar. I gotta follow that.
Yeah, please do. And then my strength and conditioning account's Sloke. SLOC_strength, and that's gonna be coming back very soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm always here.
And so the book, Slokes Bar, they DM you. How do they?
Yeah, just DM us on Slokes Bar on Instagram, and we'll get you booked up, ready to go.
Yeah, please support this guy, man. He's a cool dude, real dude. I mean, what a story, bro. Like, it's rare. You've lived a rare life experience at a young age, which
I'm very blessed,
is very blessed. But what I love the most is you're giving energy, you're giving nature. You will find that, because I got a few years on you, but you will find that authenticity will carry a long way.
Right.
A long way of building relationships that will last a lifetime, that, you know, and very supportive. So, man, appreciate you being here, bro.
Thanks for having
Everything's
me, bro.
fantastic. So, Slokes Bar, SLOCS Bar on Instagram, and Sloke SLOC_strength coming back, refreshed on Instagram. Man, much success to you, bro.
Thanks, brother. You too, man.
Anything you need, always feel free. I mean, I see you at the gym, but you know what I'm saying.
for sure.
But you're locked in, freaking slinging weights, and I'm locked in with my headphones. So we're like, hey,
sure.
what's up, man?
Yeah, for sure, bro.
But like, anything you need, man. Would love to see, your success. And dude, like, just keep going, bro.
Yeah, man.
Much love, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you having me, man.
Thanks for being on. And so, as we do with all our guests, we have a gift for you, bro. I know you got your Bass Pro shot. That's dyslexia, man. Dyslexia,
Bass Pro,
but now you got the N2N cap, bro. Sweet. Much love, bro. I appreciate everything you represent, all that you're about. I appreciate the investment you put in Nate whenever y'all have the chance to interact.
Yeah, for sure.
And, following the career path of him, you always ask me about him when we see each other. So it's like, I appreciate that investment and love, man. You're always welcome back anytime.
Thanks, man. And
definitely the next event I have, I'm hiring Slokes Bar.
Slokes Bar, baby.
Slokes Bar. So come on with it. Appreciate you having on, bro. I appreciate you being on. So with that, I close the episode as I close every day, which is when I put my head down on the pillow. Before I close my eyes, I thank God and the universe one more time for the opportunity to hopefully have inspired at least one person to live to their fullest controllable potential. And I want to thank you all for listening to Sloke's story. It's a fantastic story, man. Kid from Kid from Cleveland, getting to be an international MMA fighter. Now he's helping pro athletes at the highest of the highest levels perform and recover from adversity. I mean, you can't ask for a better dude in your corner than Sloke, bro. And so thank you for listening, and I look forward to bringing you another episode very, very soon. Be great today, but be even more grateful, and we'll talk to you soon.